just keep it real. Like, you don't have to be polished here. What you want to do is be real so that you can find the audience that can connect with the real you, so you don't have to put on a facade. Good morning. I pray your day is off to an amazing start. I know mine is. Thank you for logging on. You have just started your free consultation with me, Dewana Lewis. Whew. Your girl I've been trying to get these sessions out to you. Here's the thing. Me and my team, we've come up with this thing that we can get out 2 episodes a week. Realistically, 2 episodes a week. But I feel like telling you a specific day is not going to be good, because sometimes with my schedule, traveling, meetings, motherhood, being a wife, all of those things come into play, and it's really not easy to get all of this done when I'm supposed to get it done, and I have to allow that into my schedule, and saying, okay, realistically, this may not be a good thing to commit to. So I do think and know that I can commit to making sure we do 2 sessions a week, right? So that's what this is. You'll get 2 sessions a week from me. We're on session 3. Last week we talked about the brand story, which is the foundation of your brand. It is the way that you're going to present to your audience who you are, what you do, and why you do it. And it's going to allow people to buy into who you are and want to support your brand. I find a lot of times, and I feel like there's a rant here. A rant is coming. But I feel like, a lot of times people start businesses. And they start these businesses, and then they want people to support just because it's them. Like, they feel that if you know them just a little bit, or if you're a family member, or anything of that nature, they feel like you should be supporting what they have going on. They don't have a legit brand. Their stuff looks crazy. They just hopped in on a business and started selling stuff when just the last week they were selling something different, and really get big mad at you when you don't support them. Come on now. No, we're not doing that. Send this podcast to that person and say, get your brand up. When you get your brand up, I'll support. I'll get you. I'll say, I'll help you advertise. I'll share your content. But get your brand up first. Anyway, that was a rant. That was something I was thinking about while I was exercising this morning, and I was just like, man, people really be starting businesses and be big mad and getting online and saying my family don't support nothing I got going on. I got it out the mud. Like, then I go back and look at what they selling, and it's like, yo, I'm okay with the family not buying this. This is trash. Anyway, this session is part 2 of the brand story, and we're going to dive deeper. So I really gave instructions on how to get a brand story, how to get that output. But I want to go deeper and really talk through this, because sometimes people can get stuck, and I really want this to be that episode where you get more examples than just me telling you what to do. All right, cool. So my form that I told you to go to is on my website, thedewanalewis.com/free consultation, and it's under episode 2. Going back and forth on this episode thing. I'm thinking session sounds a little bit better than episode, but y'all tell me in the comments what you think. Like, should I say session or should I say episode? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. All right. So anyway, on the website, you click episode 2. When you click on episode 2, you're going to see a screen grab of the episode. You're going to see the actual episode, the title of the episode. And then after that, there is the form. All right. So I want to kind of go through this form with you, just in case you kind of got, like hung up on anything. Let's just go through this. All right. So name, email, all of that. That's a gimme. We got to have that information to begin anything and get any information back to you, any type of output back to you. So don't be all like, why you need my email address? Girl, how am I supposed to get this to you? Anyway, So, name, email. So, we get into the real meat and potatoes here. So, we start talking about core values. What values or principles are central to your personal or professional life? For example, integrity, creativity, resilience, stuff like that. So, what are your core values? The next one talks through passions and interests. And I like to give this disclaimer. My iPad is right here. Sometimes my camera is positioned where you can see it just like a little bit, but today you can't see it at all. But that's why I'm looking down, because my iPad is down here. So, passions and interest. I put in there that that's optional, but really you don't want to skip any of these. You want to put this information in this form. So, what are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy learning about? What are the things that you like? Now, the next one is professional background. Briefly describe your professional background, key achievements, or industries you've worked in. So you want to go in, put in not your resume. Let me be clear. You're not putting in your resume. You're briefly describing places that you've worked, things that you've gathered along the way. Certifications like Microsoft or Adobe, like different things like that, or awards that you've won, Employee of the Month 3 times in a row, something like that. And then mention the different industries that you worked in. All of this is going to play a role in the final output. Next is audience. Who is your target audience? Who do you want your brand story to connect with? So you can go ahead and put in who you think your target audience is. That's probably going to change because the brand story helps us to shape and shift and figure out who, our sweet spot. And mind you, target audience tend to change depending on the product that you're putting out. Let's say you're doing I'm staying on this nail polish. Not that I know anybody that has put out a nail polish, but I feel like we've been riding this nail polish thing for a second. So let's just continue on down that road. So let's just say that there is a hot pink nail polish that my girl is putting out, $27.99. I am a professional woman. I am more of a, French tip kind of girl. I do like the different sizes of nails. I do like the different sizes of nails, but for the most part, I try not to do nothing crazy. So that hot pink is not going to be for me. But I would say hot pink is going to be for the extravagant, the loud, the proud kind of girlies, the teenagers, things of that nature. So your target audience is going to change from product to product, but ultimately you do have one core target audience, which I would be a part of, and that's the mothers, that's the working moms, the moms that run a business and still do well in motherhood. They do well in both areas, so that's why I would still be part of her core target audience. So what we're talking about here on the form is that you're going to go ahead and put down who you believe your core target audience is, and these are the people that's going to connect with your brand. Next is your mission. What is your mission or your purpose? Why do you do what you do? Now, I don't expect for you to just be able to type this out and just have the answers. I don't expect that, but I do expect for you to not skip it, to really think about it. Take your time with it and put it in and just wait. That output is going to be a fool. Future vision is another section. What are your future goals or the long-term impact you want to have? What legacy do you want to leave? And that's what this is about. What do you want to leave? How do you want people to remember you? What are you trying to accomplish in the future? And defining moment. I would say this is the one of the real things that you do not want to skip, and you want to really take your time with it. But share a specific story, experience, or defining moment that shaped who you are. What happened to you to get you into this place, to get you where you are right now? What was that time where everything shifted and you knew that you were on the right path, that you were following your purpose, that you were following your calling? that form requires a lot from you. But I would say that regardless, put the work in, fill that stuff out, because it's going to give you a dynamic brand story. And with that being said, I wanted to share my brand story with you so that you can get an idea of what the output would be. So once you submit the form, it's going to come to you. And in the email, it's going to have a prompt. So the email is going to show you, or the output is going to have all of your answers to those forms, but it's going to be in a prompt format. You're going to copy that prompt and you're going to paste it in ChatGPT. And once you paste it into ChatGPT, you're going to submit, and then it's going to give you an output. I'm giving you the step by steps because I feel like when I skip a step thinking that you already know that you're supposed to do that, it's always one. It's always one like, well, you didn't say to copy and paste it. I mean, I did say it in the email. I give step by step instructions on the email, but some people don't read. So I'm just saying it now, and that be that. All right, so let me get into it. This is my brand story, and I'm interested in hearing yours. So if you want to send me yours, you can. It's email at thedewanalewis.com. I would love to review your story, and I'll also give you some feedback. So if there's anything that I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, let's try to work on this here, you can. One thing that I want you to realize, like when you get your output, you can't edit it. It don't have to say the way that ChatGPT says it. You can go back in and you can fine tune it and you can edit it so that it reads the way that you would like it to read. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this. All right. So, Dewana Lewis, the brand architect for legacy builders. The moment I became a mother, everything clicked. Life had always been a series of calculated moves, building brands, elevating voices, and executing strategies that turned businesses into powerhouses. But when I held my son for the first time, I understood my true mission: to leave a lasting impact on the world, not just through my work, but through the legacies I help others build. That's why I do what I do. I don't just manage brands, I craft legacies. With over a decade of experience working with high profile brands and elite professionals, I've honed the art of making people impossible to ignore. I specialize in working with established Black men who own and run $1 million companies, men who have built their success but need a trusted strategist to elevate their brand to match their influence. Success isn't just about numbers, it's about presence, perception, and power. And that's where I come in. I believe in loyalty, creativity, and meticulous attention to detail. Every campaign, every piece of content, and every strategic move I make is intentional. Because when you're building a brand that moves the world forward, there's no room for mediocrity. My passion lies in amplifying the people and causes that matter, the voices that deserve a larger platform, the stories that should be told. I take what's already great and I make it unforgettable. The future? I'm on a mission to build the brands of 100 plus people, products, and organizations to shape the narratives that will define industries and influence generations. If you're ready to elevate your brand to match your success, let's talk. Because your legacy deserves a strategist who understands the power of your story. I hear y'all clapping. I hear y'all clapping for the queen. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you clapping. Shoot, that was dope. That was great. And I'm just so interested in hearing your story and how your story went because, yep, mine was fire. Mine was fire. Yeah. Anyway, Anyway, so how do we implement this and how do we implement this now? So I know that you guys already have social media. Start figuring out a way to turn that story into content. How do you want to start telling your story to the people without thinking that you need to sell something. We're not selling anything right now. We're just developing a brand. So now that you have your brand story, make a post of telling people about your story, and that you don't got to read out what happened. I mean, what the output was. You don't got to read out what the output was. What you just need to do is to start finding ways to tell people your story. One way is going to be social media. If you already have your website up, switch your bio out for your brand story. So just switch them out. Another thing that you want to do is if you're doing email marketing, you want to find a way to interject your story into your email marketing. So maybe one of the topics of one of your emails is motherhood, and you want to give a little insight into your motherhood story and what you've gone through to make things happen. And then you can finish out the rest of your email that way. Definitely add your story into your elevator pitch. You can take that output, and if you're still in Chat GPT, one of the things that you can ask is turn my brand story into an elevator pitch, and it will do it for you. Now we're going to go through elevator pitch a little bit more in detail, because there are some things that you want to make sure that you have in that elevator pitch. So in episodes or sessions down the line, we're going to touch on that, but for right now, I'm just kind of giving you some things that if you wanted to start using that now, you could. And also in public speaking and PR. So if you're going to start hopping on these podcasts, if you're going to start hopping on these news shows right now, if you're going to start speaking in front of people, lead off with your story. Let people know who you are. You want to keep telling this story over and over and over again till your followers are able to tell you your story. Don't think that you should not mention this because you just talked about it and then people are going to get tired of hearing the story. They're not going to get tired. They're going to get motivated. Every time they hear you, they're going to get motivated. So continue to tell your story as if there's a person out there that's hearing this for the first time. That's the mindset, not they've already heard it 3 times in a row. No, we don't care about them. There's that one person that's meeting you for the first time and they need to hear your story. So here's one of the things that I want you to do. Now that you have your brand story, I need you to do this before our next episode. This is some homework. I know. I'm always giving you something to do, but we can't do it all in a session together. You got to do some stuff on your own. All right. So here's your homework for today, for this session. I need you to read your brand story out loud. The way that I read my brand story to you, I need you to read it out loud to someone else and see what feedback you get. You want to see how people are going to react when they are hearing your brand story. The next thing I want you to do is to think about it. Like, does this sound like me? Does your brand story sound like it's you, or is this person made up? Because if there's any inkling of it being fake or not authentic, then people are going to sense it. The people that know you are going to not trust you because they're like, "This, who is this?" So make sure when you're filling out the form, or if you've already done it, like, just be real. Like, be real. You can go back and redo it. You can do that form as much as you want to, but go back and do it over if you've already done it. And if you haven't already done it, just keep it real. Like, you don't have to be polished here. What you want to do is be real so that you can find the audience that can connect with the real you, so you don't have to put on a facade. All right, and number 3 is, does it move your audience emotionally? You want to have a brand story that's going to move people on an emotional level. Are they going to get choked up when they read this? Are they going to get inspired when they hear you speak? Is it connecting? Are you changing the way that people feel when they hear your story? And the 4th one is, start weaving this into your captions, into your emails, into your intro. So you want to go ahead and find ways to start putting your brand story into your everyday marketing materials. So if you do have an email, put it in the signature area. If next time you post, put it in your post captions. Add it to your intro. Whatever intro you have. Do you have a podcast that you're working on? Or do you have a meeting that you like to get on and you want to introduce yourself to people? Add it to your introduction. I'm not going to give you an example of that right now because we're not on it, and that's going to take us to a whole nother. Anyway, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to wrap this thing up. But listen, I am so happy that you are letting me be a part of your journey. I really am. I read to you my brand story, and word for word, it is so legit. I take it very personal that I get to help you become whatever it is that you're trying to become in your industry, the best at it, to make sure that people know that you exist. That is my job as a marketing specialist. I enjoy what I do. I don't need to be in front of the camera. I am just fine behind the camera pushing people forward, but I do feel like there's an education piece that's missing. And I'm trying to fill that need here with you today. So thank you for joining my session. I do have to do some little housekeeping here. So this episode is sponsored by yesma'am.net hosting and maintenance. If you are looking for a boutique style hosting company, this is for you. Your customer service agent will know whatever it is that your account is, whatever problems that you have, whatever products that you have on your account, you have that one person that will be able to hold you down, check on you, make sure everything is good. That's what I love so much about a boutique style hosting company, is that when I need help, I don't have to get on a call with somebody that I don't know, that don't know me. You won't have to worry about that. They will know who you are and they will continue to help you throughout the duration of your services. So that's great. Like, follow, subscribe, all of the things, comment, share. Please, please do that. If you are watching from YouTube, if you're watching from Spotify, if you hear me on one of your podcast platforms, subscribe. Any of that, all of that helps, really. All of that helps. Also, subscribe on my website, thedewanalewis.com, thedewanalewis.com. Do your homework for tonight. And also remember that Jesus loves you and I do too.